Well, salutations, kindred spirits. It's day 3 at Camp Conn. Here we are at Magic Camp, learning magic, doing magic, introducing y'all to some of my kindred spirits. Had one scheduled today. Steve Reynolds was going to visit the Hacienda, going to share some of his card magic, his thoughts on the subject, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, got a family member. Look, I'm getting verklempt. I got a family member who's under the weather. So Steve has stayed home. He's rescheduled for tomorrow. So we're going to have him on here on the Zoom style StreamYard event, and Steve Reynolds will be joining us for what's sure to be an intensive card session. And speaking of cards, hey, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to focus today on, instead of Steve Reynolds, we're going to focus on some camper requests that I've had and haven't had a chance to get to. A couple of things I wanted to talk about yesterday. I'm going to talk about that today. And this topic is one that I've had a student and a shopper from conjure.com request. Hey, let me get this mat out of the way. Let's do this. We're going to do this one Eddie Fields style. I'll also need a second deck. We'll call this the prediction deck. And this is a routine that Eddie Fields would do on a pool table. So, hey, let me say hey to the familiars. Nico and David. How you doing, David? And who else is here? Lord, my glasses aren't working. Mike, what's happening? And here we go. Jesse's in the house. Yes, we're rolling with day 3, bringing on the magic. And here's effect number 1. Now, Eddie Fields would do this with a pool ball. So he'd take a shuffled deck. You could have your spectator shuffle the deck. Then he would take a pool ball and he would shoot the pool ball, bank it around the table. Eventually, the ball lands on one card. I'm just going to spin the coin. We'll see what happens. Total randomosity here. I don't even know if this will work. looks like we're in this general vicinity. So the idea here is you end up with a random card from a shuffle deck. The prediction deck has a prediction card in it. And what I did here was just turn one of the cards upside down before we started. So there's one card upside down in the deck. I thought there was, one card, only one card upside down, and that's a random card from a random situation. That's the 4 of hearts, and that's the 4 of hearts, and that is Eddie Fechter's. No, I'm sorry. I'm saying it wrong again. Eddie Fechter's a fine magician. That's Eddie Fields, one of his presentations for what's known as the invisible deck. The invisible deck, which is actually my favorite card trick. And what the invisible deck does is it produces any card you want upside down. Here, let me do this again. I'll show you with Siri here. Hey, Siri, pick a card.
Okay, it's the 3 of diamonds.
So Siri says the 3 of diamonds. It could be your friend. Whatever card is named, when you go through the deck, you'll find one card that's upside down. There should be one. Oh, yeah, there's one card backwards. It's the only card that is upside down, and it'll be the freely named card every time. So, yeah, here we go. We've already got the tutorial in the chat. It's the subject du jour. It's marked cards and an invisible deck. So we're doing tricks with marked cards to open the stream for a couple of reasons here. Marked cards are one of the items in our giveaway this week for the Conn's Magic Camp. And if you want to participate in this giveaway, what you're going to do is make a comment in the chat section below, not in the chat here, but in the comment section. Make a comment with the words marked cards, and your name will go in to the drawing for the Con Man kit. And this is these 5 items I'm giving away Friday. And that is one trick that you can do with a deck of marked cards. Yeah, actually had a, pardon me, I had a shopper that had bought this package, the Con Man kit, asked me for advice on what you could do with marked cards. And in my opinion, that is one of the best ones, especially if you do it as Eddie Fields did it at a pool table, with a ball. It's just a big spectacle. Now, probably the best thing you can do with just a marked deck, if you want to do just a good marked deck trick. And hey, Core Ducks, I see you out there. I'll show you a trick later you can do for your kid. I've got one on the agenda here that everyone can do. So here it is. You're going to get that today, buddy. Just stay tuned. Just a straight marked card deck. And if you don't know what marked cards are, well, they're marked on the back. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how they're marked. Maybe buy them if you want to learn that. But knowing that when your spectator takes a card out and within instant you can tell it's the 6 of spades, then you can do some pretty impressive things. Now, here's what I would suggest. Have your friend shuffle the deck. They take half of the deck, and you say, hey, friend, I'm going to pick a card and put it in your deck, and you pick a card and put it in my deck. Now, when they pick the card and put it in your deck, you look at the mark. It's the 7 of clubs. You remember what their card is. And then you say, okay, now we're going to find each other's card. So you go through the marked decks and you find the card. They pick the 7 of clubs. And now you say, hey, friend, find my card. And so they will go through and put one card on the table. And whatever card they put on the table, all you have to do is name the back. And you say, yeah, I picked the 3 of hearts. What card did you find? And then when they find your card, this is a killer moment that is hard to beat, I think, if you're just looking for a straight marked deck trick. Now, aside from that, my main use for marked deck is with memorized deck index. And I'll use the marks on the deck to kind of check my position in a deck of cards. I also use this in conjunction with the pinky count and the pass. These are all topics that are way too deep for today's conversation, but there's a couple things with marked cards, and I hope that inspires your gray matter to go share some of the things with your friends. And again, if you want a chance to win this, just make a comment below with the words marked cards. Now, I'm going to give everybody a chance to get some requests in today as we move on to topic number 2. Ball vanishes. Ball vanishes. How are we going to do this? Over here? This might be good. I had a kindred spirit asking about some of the cups and balls techniques to make a ball vanish. Now, in particular, this gentleman, assuming it was a gentleman, was asking about the wand spin, the Die Vernon wand spin vanish, or maybe the striking vanish. Let me showcase the striking vanish first. Both of these techniques do use a wand. We're going to be using the Bacon Magic Wand. Let me get a plug in here. We sell these at conjure.com. And hey, Nick from Switzerland, Nick won one of these yesterday. Also tossed a stripper deck in your package. So that's coming to you. I dropped it off at the post office earlier today. And this is the fine Bacon Magic Bold wand that we'll be showcasing. Pardon the capitalism. Got to do a little bit of that. Got to pay some bills around here. Let's see. The striking vanish is not one I recommend. Let me get the mic up a little bit. It's a cool visual that magicians dig. Looks something like that. But this is not a good technique, in my opinion, for the cups and balls. Striking vanish, boom. So looks like you strike the ball and it disappears. This is a technique that was introduced to magic from David Williamson. And this technique does have value in the magic world, but I think it is best served as a penetration or as an item where the ball or the coin is implied to be penetrating, not vanishing. In other words, this maybe as a vanish is too perfect. When you tap that ball and it disappears quickly, well, there's a quick line of thought as to where that ball might go. So when you're talking about using the striking vanish as a cups and balls vanish, I'm thinking maybe this is not ideal. Pardon me for leaving that comment up there. Just leaving comments hanging around like a noob. Maybe you could do that for your kid. Now, the Die Vernon wand spin, I think, does have a little more value, Pardon me, I'm a little crunched up trying to keep this in frame here. And the Vernon wand spin is this. So you actually have the ball in your hand, and during the action of spinning the wand around your hand, you manage to secretly drop the ball from one hand into another. I've got some interesting work on this, and I'll check it with you, Jay. One sec. I'll share that with you in a second. The Vernon wand spin, the tip on this, and here's the wand spin up close. It's really just between your first two fingers. It's based on a drummer's spin. You could probably find tutorials for this on the YouTube. The most important part of any tutorial for the Die Vernon wand spin Vanish is to drop the ball when your hand is above the fist. So I'm starting the spin with my hand above the fist. Now I drop it, and then the hand comes down to catch the ball. As gravity is working, your hand's falling at the same speed. And when you combine those two ideas together, you can get a somewhat invisible, deceptive vanish of a ball. Now, I use this as a two-ball vanish. And if I have any innovative techniques for the cups and balls, I think this is one of them to consider. I do a 2-cup routine. A lot of magicians use 3 cups. That's great. I use 2. And in doing so, I get a 2-ball vanish using the Die Vernon wand spin. So I start with a false placement of the ball, and then I use the Mellini style tip over to imply 2 balls are in my hand. Then we can do the wand spin to imply the balls vanish, and it looks like 2 balls travel back to the cups at once. Now, this is kind of an advanced beat. I'm not going to dwell on this all day, but let's take this one at a time. We have an extra ball here. I show the first ball. I do a false placement. You can either just keep your thumb on it, or you can use this drop style technique. I think these are both good ball vanishes. This is the oldest one in the book, the Reginald Scott Discovery of Witchcraft Vanish. So you do a false placement, and then as you assume to toss this ball into the hand with the other one, this ball gets loaded under the cup in traditional fashion. So now your audience assumes 2 balls to be here. They're under here, though. So now when we do the Vernon wand spin, they both appear to vanish. There's one here. There's one there. That's something you could consider with 2 cups. Now, I want to share one more interesting vanish as I'm making attempts to bring things to these streams that maybe students haven't seen. And this is an obscure vanish. I think I learned this from Frank Garcia on one of the Stars of Magic videos years ago. Might be wrong on that, but here's the idea. It's a visual vanish of the ball. As you tap the cups together, the ball appears to disappear completely. And you might be able to surmise what's happening in the moment as we're talking about vanishes. But in the heat of the moment, if you're doing the cups and balls and you just tap the cups and one ball vanishes, well, that's not a bad thing. To make this happen, all you have to do is raise one cup slightly, like a quarter of an inch. As you're tapping them together, this happens, and the ball appears to disappear instantly, but it just goes under the cup. Now, the follow-up on this is I pick the cup up, I scoop my little pinky in there to bring the ball into the cup as I nest the 2 cups together. Although in real life, you might have another cup over here with the ball in it. So now you could maybe do this. You could imply the ball vanishes over here, and now the ball goes through. Really up to you how you might use that visual technique, but there's an interesting vanish for your consideration. I'm tempted to go down the cups and balls rabbit hole. Let's leave it at that with hopes that I'm not going to muddy the waters with too much excess information. So recommended cups and balls vanishes, surely just the simple technique. Of course, we use our magic wands to convey naturalness and to give direction for an audience's gaze. And these are all important things when you're doing a trick like the cups. And this is really the main purpose of a wand. It's not to imply a striking vanish or to affect a wand spin. The purpose of the wand is to control your audience attention, right? And also to convey naturalness when holding a palmed object. So, you know, maybe we're employing the Ramsey subtlety, but a hand's going to look a lot better holding something than not if you're palming. So that's why we really use a magic wand. So there you go. The false placement, the wand spin, maybe consider the 2-ball thing. And if you want to go out in left field, there's that whack a cup bit for your gray matter. Use it or lose it. That's your cups and balls tutorial. Hey, is there any questions on the cups and balls vanishes? Let me show you my favorite one, James. It's over here. It's this one. Got this from Cellini. So this is a very hard wood. It's been with me for about 20 years, 22 years. This is the wand I bring out to do cups and balls with on the street. It's tapped many, many things. This is the one I use in a more intimate performance. It's my old faithful close-up wand. This will fit in an inside coat pocket if need be. So, but I'm really happy. I've looked for good wands to carry. These are, as for a value wand, the Bacon brand, these are good wands for $10 that we offer at conjure.com. Yeah, they're good for banging. So it depends, right? Like on the street, you want something that's going to hold up. And then maybe in an elegant, you know, corporate environment, you're using props that are a little more, you know, nice wood and brass tips and so on. So Thibaut, is it Thibaut Schumacher? These are the Legend cups. I offer these at conjure.com as well. It's a value set. They're heavy copper, ring like bells. You know, you can spend $200-300 on a set of cups real easy. These are $150. The balls are Semesters leather covered baseballs. You get crochet covered cork with these when you buy the Legend cups. I also use these on the street. These are the Gary Animal. You can see how these have been around the streets a bit. They've been banged about by this particular one. We do that a lot out there. Sound. As we were talking with Jimmy Talks a Lot. Hey, if you didn't watch Jimmy Talks a Lot on day 2, why not? It's a good episode. Go listen to Jimmy talk about sound, movement, color, all the important things you need out there in the wilderness when you're street performing. We had a good chat with him yesterday. I expect we'll have a good chat with Steve Reynolds tomorrow, and I'm very excited to have Alexander Osborne on the show Friday. Unfortunately, this means I'm going to bump Mika. I got to contact Mika. If you're watching, Mika, you're getting bumped because of and Steve coming tomorrow, and Alex is Friday now. But we'll have Mika Harris back for some fun at a later date. Yeah, it's like that. Camp Conn. They really are the best price for the best cups for the price. Yes, Tommy Wonder used copper cups, I'm pretty sure, but it's more the shape of his cups. So those cups that I have, I got those in 1999. So they've been around. They have been around. Oh, here's what I wanted to mention as well. Look at this. That's where I learned all the cup stuff. The Magic of Micah Marr. So you want to go into this book to learn the wand spin vanish, the striking vanish. He's got a great vanish where you push the wand through the hand. He's also got some great techniques on the tip over move. I don't really advocate Micah Marr's cups and balls routine. I'm not a fan of the way he eliminates the cups and brings them back into play. That's just me. There's a lot to be learned in this book beyond that routine as well. And if you are a student of the arts and you want to advance your library, if you don't have this Amar book, well, you want to correct that mistake. In addition to that, in addition to the Amar stuff, there's David Williamson magic, John Carney magic. It's really not the magic of Micah Marr. This book is the magic of Micah Marr and friends. And highly recommend this tome for anyone that wants to advance their cup and ball work or card work, coin work, rubber band work, professional tips. There's so many good things in there. It's a great book. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to take a little more general questions and answers after I get through my loose 30 minutes. I got a couple more things to talk about. Jumbo coins, the bottom palm, ring and rope magic. So yeah, Gary, that striking Vanish you're asking about is in that Micah Marr book. And I know you like books. You're not going to be sad when you get that one. Yeah, Michael, I do use chop cups. I've got a routine I'm working on here. I'll showcase this briefly to give you all the concept. And this is a concept I've employed before, but I'm really happy with this new iteration. This is a TCC leather chop cup. I'm using also the leather baseballs with this. Magic wands are optional. Now, for those of you that don't know what a chop cup is, it's this. It allows you to show the ball on the cup, and then you can like put the ball in your hand, make it disappear. It appears to go back under the cup. Now, that happened kind of fast. Let me do this. How about this? I'll eliminate the ball. I'll eliminate the ball. Let me get this coming up. So I'll get rid of the ball. Put it over here, which would make it very challenging to come back. And people think to do this that I have to use a second ball. Maybe I use a second ball, but the real secret is that I use a second cup. Yeah, that's the real secret. I actually use a second cup. Don't tell anyone I told, though, because I'll get in trouble for that. And this is one of the sequences I'm working on with the chop cup. And that's what I call, it's a double chop cup routine. So now I can do these kind of moments in addition to having some of the bigger loads appear. You guys can stay tuned for this on the short form platforms. I'll have this routine posted next week. Once I get done with this Camp Conn craziness, I can focus a little more energy on the, those short forms I put out. And if you see them, hey, drop a like and all that stuff. In fact, you can drop a like now if you don't mind. Let the algorithm know that we're doing the work here, trying to make things better on the YouTube Magic Universe. Okay, I'm going to take the heat off me for just a minute as we turn our attention to the next subject, jumbo coins. Jumbo coins is a thing that I've practiced, played with, employed throughout my magical life. But it is not something that I have ever used as a working professional, and so I have a hard time offering good advice for it. But I happen to know who does use it, and I'm going to take a stroll down memory lane as I introduce some of you to the magic of Gary Kurtz. I took a moment here today to get a minute of Gary manipulating a jumbo coin, and we're going to look at his Flurious routine. The Flurious routine. And I'm not going to step on it. And note, this is from the 90s. This was filmed for analog television. You might need to hear, you might need to strain, you might need to look extra close to watch the magic. But for me to convey some of this information, I think it's important that we take a look at what is possible with a jumbo coin. And for that, we're going to look at Gary Kurtz. Here we go.
Visual stimulation. Hope you like it. Oh, please. Oh, yeah, do this all day. Think I will. Poetry in motion. Thank you, thank you. But wait, the poem's not over yet. It's back. It ain't Chucky, but it's back. Do me a favor, feel it, make sure it's there. It is there. Tell me you want it.
I want it.
Because when you want it, it gets even bigger. Ooh. Thank you.
Now that's a jumbo coin routine. And yeah, as I was saying, some of Some of the moments may be a little harder to see on that, but you have to imagine the vision of this young man in the late 90s to do a one coin flurry with a jumbo coin, to take coins that, you know, a coin routine that most people would do with something this size or smaller, and then to bring it to the, you know, the flurry arena. So this is a routine that Gary published in a book called Unexplainable Acts. In this routine, all the jumbo coin manipulations are taught. I'm going to focus on a couple of them here. If you are interested in jumbo coin manipulation, I'll give you a couple of Kurtz's techniques that you can start to work on. And again, these are not things that I use professionally, but they are good things to use. Now, let's start with the introduction of the jumbo coin. Gary has a nice show where he shows this hand empty, and then he transfers the jumbo to the other hand. So he's going to show this hand empty. It's going to get transferred to the other hand, and then he's going to stretch the coin this way. So the coin starts in this grip here, and it's just shuttled from fingertip to fingertip, but behind the hands as you're showing this hand and this hand. And pardon me for butchering this technique a little bit, but this is the idea. And then when the coin grows, it becomes a little more pronounced. So that's something you can work on. Now, I think the biggest thing that Kurtz offered was his addition to use a Tinkai style vanish in jumbo coin technique. So he would apparently place the coin here, implying a shrink and then a grow. I'm going to get rid of this extra coin. So this is a Tinkai style palm. It's held by the thumb and the base of the palm. And then as you apparently place the coin into a palm down hand situation, this is where the coin gets shuttled into the Tinkai, and the palm down hand apparently moves away with the coin. Now, Gary might do this to put a coin in his pocket. He uses it to imply a penetration. Apparently, it goes through the top of the hand. So it looks like it goes in the hand. And he also implies it goes down the sleeve and then into the hand this way. So this is, I think, a valuable technique. Gary also uses some hand equipments. So you can do this vanish technique. As you brush down, the palmed coin can be dropped into this hand as this hand caresses here to show it in this fashion. And you know what I could do? I could keep babbling about these techniques that are expertly described in Unexplainable Acts. If you really are interested in this subject matter, then please go read that book. All right, we have spammers. We've arrived, folks. Nice. We got spammers in the chat. I've arrived. Also, while we're talking about Gary Kurtz, let's talk about this for just a moment. Let's get Mike off the screen. The most important thing I'm going to mention today, do you hear me? It's the most important thing I'm going to mention today. Bam, there it is. This is Gary's manuscript on misdirection. Now, if you're one of my members, if you're a member of my YouTube skit, I have a membership. There's information on that in the description below. I've got advanced tutorials. I do some live sessions. I've mentioned this book to my advanced students. They are aware of it. If you're looking for a copy of this dissertation on misdirection and how to control your audience attention, I'm going to send you to Doc Eason's site. Doc Eason, one of our modern masters, master bar magician, but really just a master magician in general. He's the only one I'm aware of that's selling this manuscript. But by hook or crook, however you find it, read it. Employ the techniques. Become a better magician. And if you're not sure about that, well, all you got to do is go watch just about anything Gary Kurtz does, and you will see how good he is. Yes, it's important. That's correct. It's important, and it's important. Take those notes, Jake. That's why we're here. You're doing it correct. All right, any questions on Gary Kurtz or jumbo coin manipulation? You know, You know what I thought about doing today, but it's another routine I haven't performed in 20 years. I was introduced to jumbo coins through Paul Harris and his giant killer coin routine. Paul employs the jumbo as a finale to a card and coin matrix, and the coin appears under a couple of playing cards as a surprise finish to the matrix. Highly recommend that. I think that's a good use for it, but we're not going to butcher any more magic than we already have here today. Hey, Kraft, you know what? I have a jumbo quarter. So you're our winner today. Send me an email. I'll send you my jumbo quarter. I ordered a couple $50. Murphy sent me a quarter. I got no use for it. I'll send you one to practice with. And congratulations on being our impromptu giveaway winner today, because I'm just that nice. You know what to do. You know where to find me. Send me an email. I'll send you a prize. All right. That'll save us time on the giveaways later. And again, if you want a better chance to win, dun, 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 you can just drop a line with marked cards in the comments below. Yeah, Marty asked the never-ending question. So, you know what, man? I just bought this one off Amazon. This is a Morgan replica. I think these run about $20 to $30 retail. So I'm using Morgan's now, and the replica jumbos that are coming out, this is a quality one. Do I have a good answer for how to find a good one? No, I just always search for them. I'm sorry, Jason. I did not. I'm looking, and I don't see it. So if YouTube scammed us both, well, first of all, thanks for the try. And I apologize on behalf of Google and YouTube. That sucks if you did and they didn't. So in general, for me, it suits the size of my hand, Sticky. Like, look, if I'm finger palming a coin, for the longest time, I used $50, which were really inappropriate for my large hands. But now when I palm, I only have to curl this much. I don't have to like curl into palm. It's like a good size. Also for classic palm, it's a good size. Lastly, they're visible. Your audience can see this better than the smaller coin. Well, it is what it is, man. I'm going to assume I'm going to get that money. Let's have positive thoughts. I'm going to assume I'm going to get it. Wait, now there's this. Did you just do it again? Just do it again? Or is that the late pay? Regardless, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Oh, there's a good one too. The sound, because they sound so good. That's the second one. All right. Now you've overdone it and YouTube gypped us. Yeah, silver dollars also just sound, they sound. Come on now. Needs work. So yeah, that's why we use silver dollars. Any other questions? We're going to do the ring and rope trick next. I'm going to cover some ideas on ring and rope magic, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Yeah, those 3 silver dollars, David wants to know if they're worth real money. Those 3 are worth about $100 right now. Maybe more than that. I think they're about $30 an ounce, $34 an ounce. So this is probably worth about $102, guesstimating. My favorite coin effect is a 4-coin routine. Hey, impromptu, James. Here's my not favorite one. 3 coins. You just loosen up the metal here a little bit. You got to loosen it up. Well, that's working. Once you get it loosened up, you can actually, here you can squeeze them together so they become less. So that's like 1 into 2. If I squeeze 2 into 1, it just looks like 1 coin. So it kind of looks like the coins are vanishing as we go. You just give them a squeeze, but they really go up the sleeve. So when I say it vanishes, it's just going up the sleeve. That's the first one. The second one's actually inside the first one. It just goes in there. And then the third one is in between those two. It's right in between them. And that's not my favorite coin trick, but at least it's magical. And Michael wants to see the gadabout coin trick. And that's a good one, but not one I'm ready to do today. Is that all it is? Silver price is $21 an ounce. All right. Well, then that's how much it is for an ounce. Maybe it's more as a coin. All right. This next trick is one that I have taught on the platforms, and we'll talk about that as I do it. Yeah, that's a Jay Sankey production, Marty. That's a lot of that's from a Sankey's Slick Splits routine. You guys can find Jay Sankey on YouTube. He probably teaches that stuff on here somewhere. Revolutionary Coin Magic probably gets my vote for the best Sankey coin DVD. Jason's like, no, Doug spent proper money on those coins. Some of the exclusive member tutorials. So there's Flush Brush, the barehanded coin assembly, my favorite coin trick. There's switchblades, a knife routine, coincidice, all my worker stuff. There's a couple dozen of them out there. A couple dozen of them. Wrong camera. All right, here's the thing. Here's what you'll need if you want to do this. And this is a great trick if you want to do magic for your friends or family. No skill involved. It's a great social trick you can do at a party. You'll need you can use a shoestring. I'm using just some magician's rope, but any cord will be fine. You need a safety pin. This is a big pin, but it's the only thing that's weird about it is it's big. And for clarity, I'm using this jumbo nut, but it could be a finger ring or really any kind of ring at all. It could be a pretzel if you want to get weird with this. So look, I'm going to leave the ends in full view. The solid band of steel and the safety pin of mystery, for lack of a better name, they go under the shroud of darkness. I have to do it under the shroud because this is it's not safe for the eyes. And as I do this, my goal will be to get that ring onto the middle. Yep, onto the middle of that rope. Here, I'm just going to pin it right on there. That way, you know, I can't do any sleight of hand. And it is done. That ring is pinned right on to the middle of that rope. And that is the Stuart James ring rope and safety pin mystery. It's really on there. This provides, I think, a deep puzzle for your friends and family to consider this conundrum. Let them try it. Do it again. This is one that will withstand repeat viewing. Let's take a look at what makes this go on, and then we'll take a look also briefly at some sleight of hand options for a ring and rope handling. Again, this is by camper request. I've had people ask for ring magic or rope and ring magic, and here's how we do this one. So again, what you need is what I said. You'll need a rope, you'll need a ring, you'll need a safety pin, and you'll need a handkerchief to cover the secret business. So here is the secret business. Here's the secret business. Under the handkerchief, it's not a trick nut, Jake. Under the handkerchief, I do this. I put the middle of the rope through the middle of the ring. That's step one. Middle of the rope goes through the middle of the ring. This is under the handkerchief. Then I take the safety pin. I go through one side of the rope that's inside the ring. And then I go through one side of the rope that's on the other side. And I'll just pause after I pin this so you guys can get a look at what I'm talking about here. Let me open this up a little bit. This is the condition that you want to be in underneath the handkerchief, with this pinned on the outside and this pinned in this. It's scientific explanation. This is pinned thusly. So now underneath the cover of the handkerchief, you have one more step. And here's the secret step. Put your finger in this hole. This one where it's coming through this part. And then grab one end of the rope and pull away. And what that does, as your finger is here, it pulls that end through the ring as you bring everything into view. As it comes out from underneath the handkerchief, that happens. That leaves the ring or the nut or whatever this is pinned on to the middle of the rope. And yeah, it is a neat puzzle, but it becomes a deep mystery when you don't know the secret. And like I said, if you're hanging around with friends and family and maybe you want a moment that lasts longer than a 10-second visual, this is the kind of thing that you can do to spend a little time with and treat it like a magic puzzle. Yeah, no gimmicks. No gimmicks at all. No gimmicks. Marty likes the addition of the nut, which this is actually Giovanni's addition to the ring and rope routine. Let's talk about this. While we're talking about Giovanni, let's talk about Ray Grismer's. This is probably the best way to showcase this. This is a handling that I actually learned from a Chris Kenner book years ago, The Right Stuff. Chris's ring and rope routine is in The Right Stuff. He taught Ray Grismer's, is it Ringer? Is that the name of it? Ringer? So you take any rope, any ring, you put the ring on the rope. Let's pull that a little further down. That was poorly done. Let me try this camera, see if I can feel a little better about the situation. You take any ring, any rope, you put the ring on the rope, and then you pull it down, and it should look like it's on there. It's a comfortable illusion, and then the ring comes right off the rope. Or in Giovanni's case, we do it like this. You put the ring on the rope, pull it down. And then what Giovanni would do is tie a knot. So you get a knot penetration to go with the penetration of the nut or the ring off the rope. I'm going to describe this once and slowly. Now, if you would like to learn this, I'm going to suggest that you get a book like I did. You're looking for Ray Grismer's ring routine. Ray Grismer is a good one. So there's the rope or the shoelace or whatever it is poking up between the first and second fingers. That's of my left hand. It's clipped here. That's important. The ring is held by the first finger and thumb of the opposing hand, and the ring gets dropped onto that piece of rope. Now, you can show it here briefly. I think the move is designed to follow through. So after you put it on here, these fingers go under the hand. So the ring goes on, these fingers go under the hand, and now the right hand holds onto the ring and then moves upward as the left hand, which has these two ends clipped, moves downward. So right hand moves up, left hand moves downward, and what happened is the ends will come through the rope, through the ring, as this is brought up with the implication that you're pulling that ring through the rope. You can solidify the illusion by pinching this situation behind the ring or the nut, and then you can affect the penetration thusly. So this is Ray Grismer's ringer move, and it's worth your attention if you want to learn ring and rope magic. Boy, that was a horrible execution of it, but I hope you'll pardon me as I try to accommodate campers' requests with material that maybe I haven't done for a while. So, woo, having fun now. I'm looking at my list. I forgot something, and I know Jimmy Ferrister is here. I saw you hanging out earlier. Jimmy wanted me to talk about a couple things: the bottom palm and color changes. Now, this color change question you asked me about, I think, is a little esoteric. You want to know how to convey magical moments, and this is all subjective to a degree. I'll tell you this. Ooh, that's an interesting question, Marty. Do you think you could put that nut in the person's hand? I bet you could. I bet you could make that a hands-on moment with the spectator. Yeah, pretty good. Not really, though. Let's see if we can do some more pretty good execution as we talk about the bottom palm. Yeah, we're going to skip color changes. I will suggest this. Most most modern practitioners that exhibit a color change are more likely to show a visual color change, right? Where the card appears to, maybe you're good at the pass and you say, if I squeeze, the cards change. I squeeze the 3 of diamonds and it changes into the 10 of clubs. Well, this is okay, but I would suggest considering delaying the color change, and that maybe even a double lift with a little more drama. So you say, there's the 9 of diamonds. Now watch. Damn it. There we go. 9 of diamonds changes to the Queen of hearts. So now our dynamic becomes more than just watch my clever skill change the card. Maybe your magic breath is having trouble. We're building some tension. We're building some drama before we reveal the magic moment. This is how we can change the beat on a color change and maybe take something that's thrown away as a quick visual and give it a little deeper mystery by delaying the magic. All right. More importantly, the moves. Let's talk about the moves. And the move in question here is going to be the bottom palm. The bottom palm. So we're going to want to get a card from the bottom of the deck into this situation. This is a palm. We secretly hide cards in this fashion. Let me mention this too. When I'm palming, I'm often in this situation, which means my palming card is often in this situation. It's a curled up mess. I'm not palming this card gently. I'm not keeping this card flat and palming like this. No, I'm palming this card. I'm balling it up half the time. So when we're talking about palming, let's not be overly concerned about, bending the cards. We can always flatten them back out as we make our replacements and so on. There's a tip. Now, getting the card into palm, here's another tip. From dealing grip, which is here, and if I take the deck away and just leave one card, it's here. All we have to do is move that card this much, and now it's in palm. So we're going to pivot it, and this is a good lesson I learned from Mike Close. Find your pivot spot. You could even put a pencil or ink mark there. This is where the card is going to pivot from your dealing grip into the bottom palm. And again, this motion is only an inch or an inch and a half. All right. So that's our goal, to pivot it here. Now, there are advanced techniques I could recommend. Larry Jennings has a technique for doing it one-handed. So he'll get a break under the bottom card and pivot everything with his left pinky, just pivot it in there. I guess he uses some other, that's how bad I do that. You can do it the hard way. I'm going to recommend Misdirection and the Erdanace technique, which is grasping the upper part of the deck in a biddle grip in this situation, and then using your left pinky to begin this pivot. So we're going to pull down towards yourself, pivoting the card. And now we're going to take our right pinky and use it to move the card into bottom palm position. So you have a break under the card you want to palm. This hand comes from above. The pinky gently moves the card askew so its corner is exposed. And then your uppermost pinky can complete moving the card into a bottom palm scenario. Now, I would only recommend employing this pinky technique really as you're beginning to learn to put the card into that position. After you get comfortable with this, eliminate the pinky, just grab the deck here and use your left fingers only. And when I say left fingers, that'd be the pinky and the other 3 to maneuver that card into the bottom palm. Now, that said, I never use that technique. I never really use the bottom palm in that fashion. I do get cards into the bottom palm position, but when I do so, it's generally using a Louie Palm off the top of the deck. Again, my advanced students have learned this maybe, but the Louie Palm is this. I'm going to palm the top card into my left hand in a bottom palm style position. And that's how that looks, the Louie Palm. That was a bad one, but here I'm going to get this one, the 8 of diamonds, into a bottom palm position. And I'm going to do that with the Louie Palm. Bam. So for the Louie Palm, the deck is again in a dealing grip, and the hand from above hits the top card with the thumb, and that thumb is going to apply that pivot. Remember the pivot we were talking about? Pivots the card at an angle. It's at this point that the front end of the deck is claimed by the first and second fingers of the right hand, and then it moves away. The correct spelling is L-O-W-E-Y. L-O-W-E-Y for the Louie Palm. Jason and Gary are busy arguing about the price of silver. We don't know. We don't know for sure. So hand comes from above. The thumb pivots the card in a right clockwise direction. The first and second fingers pinch the outer end of the deck and move away as the hand palms the card from above. And this is what I prefer to get a card into what is a left hand full palm position or bottom palm position. Also, one more mention, I use Conn technique. This is a Tinkai-esque. You can get these cards from the middle of the deck. Let's say I've had a card replaced and obtained a break over the 5 of clubs. So let's say I have a secret break there. I can now pivot inward and then apply pressure with my thumb to affect this Louie style steal. So I pivot inward, thumb applies pressure, and then from the middle of the deck, I can do this same kind of Louie steal. I guess if you want this, you're really going to need to get the Conn book. I don't even know why I'm blabbering about Conn techniques anyway. We're going down the rabbit hole. It's a little deep. And yeah, I'm in New Orleans. Kennerborough, actually, right outside New Orleans. Holy cow, has it been 50 minutes? All right, I've overstayed my welcome, I feel. I really felt like I wanted to do 30 to 45 minutes today. We're already overtime. Cosmic. Here's the problem with Ambush in Blue. I quit doing ATFIS. We don't do ATFIS anymore. This is probably Steve Reynolds' secret account trying just to get me to do ATFIS. It's not happening. My favorite palm is the one-hand top palm, but I use the Louie Palm a lot as well. Is that what it is? This is the show. Everybody wants me to keep going. Here's the thing, y'all. Doing, turns out this. Thank you, David. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I tried to put some value in this, but I feel like I'm getting a little sloppy. So I'm actually banned from the Magic Cafe, Keystone. It's a badge of honor that I wear bravely. I'm banned from there. Let's see what Jason has to say. First of all, thank you, Jason, for sharing some of your hard-earned money. I just wanted to say thank you for all that you do. My wife was appreciative of you when she bought from Conjure.com. You shipped it all together. Thank you. Was it just your birthday, Jason? Did you get the birthday package? I hope that was you. But it's only $40. All right, I'll do this again. Yeah, sure. Sure, Cosmic. The Bang Vanish you're talking about, let's reference it correctly. Striking Vanish by David Williamson. Okay, it was a Father's Day gift. So here's the skit. This hand does this. I'm trying to watch myself. This hand does this. It throws it in there. And this hand does this. It taps the thing. So combine this with this, and you get this. If you want to make this a good trick, you do this. Here's a good trick using the Sharpie marker. When I was talking about the striking vanish, employing it with other objects, here's a good one. You take a Sharpie marker, you tap it, and imply that the coin goes in the marker cap. So you go, yeah, the coins, it doesn't really vanish. It goes right inside the Marker cap. It's a fun way to use the striking Vanish. There you go. We did it. What? Happy birthday, brother. I'll sing you a song on the 29th. Maybe not live on YouTube. Nobody wants that. And happy birthday to you as well, David. Yeah, you know where it really shines? Here's where I really used to like using it, in the coin in bottle. So imagine you're doing the coin in the bottle. You have the secret thing loaded into the bottle. I'm holding the bottle. Now there's a quarter. Now when I do the striking Vanish, it dislodges the folding coin. And now we get, and this is what I was really talking about, an effective penetration, a visual penetration of the coin into the bottle. Now that's a good use of the striking Vanish. There's other uses for it in that Amar book. Danny, I have a couple playlists for beginner magic. I have an easy magic tutorial playlist on my page, and a lot of the card magic I teach is accessible. If you want to visit me at conjure.com, I have all these lessons curated into easy card magic, easy coin magic. You can visit me there if you have if you're getting a little muddled on YouTube, and most of the stuff there is easy as well. Oh, Jesse, this is not a question I could easily surmise. I guess for card magic, I'm going to say off the top of my head, I'm thinking Marlowe's Revolutionary Card Technique series. This is a good volume that covers so much. For general magic, it's kind of hard to make a recommendation. Probably the Tommy Wonder books, the Books of Wonder. The problem with Atfis. The problem with Atfis is the redisplay of cards. Let's just briefly here. So Atfis involves taking a block of cards which has been introduced. In other words, here's 4 cards, and now I'm going to gather them up and very suspiciously redisplay them atop the deck in a cozy fashion, one at a time. And there's very little reason to take a block and introduce them back to the deck. Now, there's not to say there's no reasons, because all rules are meant to be broken. And I think there's some great routines that use Atfis. I don't do any of them. And Atfis in blue is not one of them. If you want one, go learn Marlowe's Mental Reverse. This is a good reason to redisplay cards. You're trying to get your spectator to mentally select one as you display them. Yeah, it's like Fight Club. I didn't really even want to talk about it, Marty, but sometimes you just got to talk about it. The repeated display for no justification. That's what it is. That's what it is. So as I was saying earlier, these events require effort beyond just being on the stream. You know, we got to wrangle magicians to be on here, make set playlists, rehearse things, get graphic elements, put videos in the queues, do community plugs and things like that. So unfortunately, I can't stay on YouTube endlessly. I have to expend some amount of energy to making tomorrow happen. And plus today's Doctor Strange Day, and the multiverse universe was released on HBO. There's a Disney. Anyway, I got a movie to watch later today. That's going to take time. I can't not watch Doctor Strange. It's like required viewing for magicians. You know, that's somewhat believable that Mike Amar has an Atfis tattoo. Thank you, Jason. I'm glad it's not sucking. Trying to make it bearable. Tell you what, Connor, I'll do that this week, but I'm thinking, okay, we'll do that here. Well, let's just do it. Sticky, Atfis switches cards. So it switches cards. I guess the thing about it is it's flexible. It's flexible. Thank you. He's struggling in there. He's struggling. But Steve will be on. Steve will be on. All right, let's do our closing number. It is a good trick. Here, let me get this. Let me get a deck that can do this trick. Someone was asking about tricks that are on the advanced tutorials. This is one of them. This is an exhibition of palming. Exhibition of palming. So magicians use palming for different things. What were we? Let me just take a quick, make sure I'm just assuming I'm in the right position. Okay, so magicians might use here, we'll use this. That's a little suspect. Let's use the 5. You could use a palm to affect a transformation. So I could change it to the 5 of diamonds, or we could even change it to the 8 of spades. And this would be a magical application. Now, I'm going to show you how maybe a nefarious card handler or a gambler might use a palming technique to acquire some of the high cards in the deck. And to do this, we're going to use some of the techniques I talked about with this Marlowe Revolutionary card book. This is one of them, the tabled palm. And these are the cards we'll be using for the requested piece, the invisible palm display. So yeah, the invisible palm display. And again, we'll just be using the 4 aces to affect this demonstration. Let's do this. We'll suppose that one of them, the ace of diamonds, let's say we're playing poker and I already have that ace. Then I want to secretly acquire the other 3 aces one at a time. So to do this, I'm going to use the invisible palm. Yeah, the invisible palm, which looks like this. I take the card and secrete it into my hand almost till it's completely naked to the invisible eye. I mean, you can hardly see it there, huh? But look, if I need it, like I said, if I need it in my poker hand, I can make it come back just that fast, and that's the ace of hearts. Now, know that happened kind of fast, and if you missed that one, well, hang on. The fun's just begun. We're going to do it again twice with the clubs and the spades. The hearts has gone. The clubs will go next as we endeavor to use the invisible palm tabled placement. Yeah, the invisible palm tabled placement. This is where you secrete the card into the palm position and then drop it onto the, right there onto the table until you need it in your hand, which is now, and that's the ace of clubs. It's clubs. That's 2 down. That's 1 to go. Here we go. Ready or not? I'm rooting for you on this one. Watch as the ace of spades. We'll do this one under test conditions as I bury it upside down in the center of the deck. Reversed in the middle of the pack, the ace of spades, the invisible palm center tabled extraction placement. That should mean it's not here anymore. Yeah, it's not here anymore. Right here until I need it here, and that's right about now. That'll provide our big finish. That's the ace of spades, and that's your exhibition of an invisible palm. Is there any questions on that? Invisible palm. Yes, indeed. That's the skit. Thank you. Thank you. They like it. They really like it. Looks hard. This rendition is surprisingly easy. If you guys have my book or access to Tricks of My Trade, The Magic of Doug Conn, you'll find it in there. It's also described on my DVD set. And lastly, as mentioned, if you're a YouTube member, you can go look up Tricked Traveler. And yeah, James, I am. But boy, it looks good, doesn't it? Some of the secrets remain the secret. This is why we have advanced tutorials, and this is why we have beginners and intermediates. And, you know, I don't just spew it all out on the wide open forums of the YouTube, and that is one that will remain behind closed doors. Hey, kudos to Chris Kenner for that one as well. His advancements on that plot led me to where I am with it today. And like many of the routines I've enjoyed all my life, Chris Kenner runs deep in that routine. There's links to the membership below. If you want to go support the channel, it's $5 a month to get access to dozens of routines. Thank you for everyone who does that. And that's the name of that tune. Jesse just does it old school. I'm wondering if it's worth getting any more DVDs right now. I don't even know. I have 2 left and then I'm out. I'm a quick learner. So it's been like for 6 months, but not consecutive. Yeah, this one's not a double backer. It's not that. It's a unique gaff that I developed on my own. It's a very novel gaff that I'm using. All right, guys, look. I got to go do other things now. I enjoy spending time with y'all. I really do, but I just don't have enough hours in my day to do this endlessly. So I'm going to go turn my attention. And yeah, some of that's going to be to Doctor Strange because you guys aren't at the top of the to-do list. I mean, you are there in the ballpark, but you got to watch our Marvel movies. I missed that one at the theater. So if you want to enter the contest, lastly, in the comment section, not of the chat here, in the my glasses are broke. In the comment section of the video after the stream, go drop the words mark cards. You're curing entries for the giveaway Friday. We'll spin the wheel for that. That's going to be a wrap, guys. This is me officially saying goodbye and thank you. It's been a pleasure. Day 3 of Magic Camp. That's a wrap. Ciao for now. See you guys tomorrow. Au revoir. Bye.